Welcome back to the Kids Love Podcast. We have a repeat, I almost said performance, appearance, a repeat appearance. Beverly Owings, our Director of Social Services. And we've got new things we want to talk about. But one of the reasons why I wanted you to come back on is, of course, she's one of my favorite people. But also, the last time we did the podcast, the information we gave, so many people shared and consumed it that it was just kind of, I think we take for granted what we get to do every day and how we do it. And I heard a comment yesterday and it said something to the effect of we can't we can't feel like what we're doing becomes normal that we forget the miracle in it.
Mhm.
And the way we get to serve every day is so different, out of the box, best interest of the child focused. It's a good place. So I want to talk a little bit. We'll start with about our child placing agency, Davidson Farms, because Beverly really is that first, what I would say, um, you're the first base they got to pass to even get a key to get access. So when people reach out to us about a placement,
Mhm.
there is a very intense process that you go through because our effort is to make sure that not only are we a good fit for them, but they're a good fit for us.
Mhm.
And so kind of talk about when those calls come in and the next steps and what that process looks like.
Yeah, so our calls come from multiple different sources. It could be from biological parents that are looking for additional services for their children, that they have hit a wall or realize that they cannot meet their needs at this point in their life within the walls of their home. Many calls come from attorneys reaching out for children that are in the juvenile justice system. Then, of course, neighbors. I mean, we get multiple types of phone calls, and so what I do with those initial phone calls, specifically when it is families calling while the children are still in the home. Initially, I hear all of their needs. And, typically, my first response is trying to connect them with our mental wellness center. Any
Because so many times it is trauma, behavior,
Yes,
result of why they're needing help to begin with.
exactly, exactly, and many times, when a parent first hears that, the response is, "Oh, no, we've tried therapy." Have you tried trauma-focused therapy? What modality was used? What's that? What does that mean?
Mm.
And so, just because they walk into a building that offers, some type of therapy does not mean that their child has received what is needed.
Mhm.
And so that's the first conversation that I have with them. Many times a parent, it is very obvious in their conversation that they need help, and they need help immediately, and they need to look at a temporary placement for their child.
'Cause a lot of times when they reach out, it's because they have hit their wall. They
Yes.
are at the end of the rope. So, life lesson 1 in this, don't wait until it's too
Yes.
late.
Most definitely.
And hopefully the resources that Beverly's sharing that we offer here, um, they are available not just to our kids and families and not just for kids that are in foster care.
Mhm.
Our mental health's for anyone, and we, just left a meeting where we were sharing about how we're actually about to grow our telehealth division too. So this is
Mhm.
not just limited to in person. So don't wait until it's too late because that's not good for anyone involved in the situation.
Yes. Yes. And so for those calls, we initiate an initial meeting with the family and the child. Depending on the situation, sometimes I'm meeting just face to face with the parents first. Sometimes that involves the child. I really like to know where the family is at. When possible, I like to go to the family's home to sit down in their living room, talk about what face to face you get a lot of body language when you're watching the interaction with the child
Mhm.
and the family, and then also just connecting with them on a personal level of being an adoptive parent. Because many times a lot of our families are facing challenges when they have adopted children and the children are reaching a different stage of life, and parenting teenagers just in general can have challenges. And so, just being able to sit down with them, connect with them, trying to offer services, and sometimes it's just to be that ear for them.
Mhm.
Validate them where they're at, encourage them, and then there's those times that when we sit down, we need to come up with an immediate plan of them being able to temporarily place their child with us.
Mhm.
And many times people look at that differently, and it's because they have not walked a mile in a parent's shoes. And there are a lot of different feelings around that, but what our focus is that we want to strengthen the family, and that looks different for everyone.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter what a neighbor thinks, it doesn't matter what someone thinks in church or their coworker thinks. It is about strengthening that family, because what goes on behind closed doors in someone's home is very different than what you see when you're in Walmart, you're shopping, you're at church, you're at school. And so we know that if we can strengthen the parents, get the services that the child needs, then we are strengthening the family. The goal is always reunification, and it is offering services to not only the child, but the parents.
The whole
The
family
whole
unit.
family. If there's siblings in the home,
Mhm.
it's siblings, that we're offering services to, and that is one of the areas that I say we serve so different, because it is not about what someone it's not focusing on what they did not do or how they could have done things differently. It is, "Where are you at today? And this is how we're going to move forward." We can't change yesterday. We can't change last year. We can't change the information that was not provided to you when the adoption was finalized. What we can change is today and moving forward.
And so many times, it's just that experience is the best teacher.
Yes.
And we had a situation of a child that um, was in our fold and was adopted by an amazing, amazing family, and it did not work.
Mhm.
And that was heartbreak. Like,
It's
and
heartbreaking for
it was
everyone.
heartbreaking for everybody. And there is no like blame, guilt, or
No.
shame on anybody. Um, that child came to us at Davidson Farms, needed trauma infused therapy, worked real hard. And the family wanted it to work. And then at some point, there was just a realization of, I don't think that this is the best place.
Mhm.
I don't think this is the place she needs long term.
Mhm.
So then that shifted again. So this is a child that's had a lot of loss, and but what I think we do intentionally is we met that family where they are. We love them and had to walk them through the heart of what you're talking about. Oh my gosh, what's the church going to think? What's the school going to think? And at the end of the day, you know, um, they're not paying your bills.
Mhm.
They don't. They really don't
Right.
matter. It comes down to what is in the best interest of that child and your family.
Yes.
And so, and now in hindsight, knowing more about that child's trauma
Mhm.
because of the work that she's put in to get to such a better place,
Mhm.
we now know that a big part of the barrier for it to be success was the makeup of the family that adopted her, the ages of other children in the home. Would have never thought at the
Mhm.
time
Mhm.
that that was it. But now looking back, and again,
Mhm.
with experience comes wisdom.
Mhm.
Um, I I don't think I would say don't try.
Mhm.
So they tried,
Mhm.
but that's just one example. And because so many times people are so quick to judge, oh my
Yes.
gosh, I can't
Yes.
believe, you're going to turn them back in. And I'm like, yeah, but you really don't know
Right.
how hard it was and how
Mhm.
hard they tried.
Mhm.
But so many times, like, I mean, these families aren't therapists. They're not
Right.
equipped to deal with
Right.
the trauma. And when we talk about trauma in our children, I mean, we're talking severe trauma. We're talking
Yes. Yes.
abuse, multiple kinds, severe level,
Mhm.
um, that if gone untreated
Mhm.
is going to prevent that child from being independent, successful,
Mhm.
um, being able to sit in a desk at school, all
Right.
these things that we want for that child.
Mhm.
And every child in foster care faces this.
Right.
So you have a family call you, we're at our wits' end.
Mhm.
You go and meet with them, feel like we can support them.
And that's the number one thing. There's no service with Kids to Love that is about, do we have an empty bed?
Never,
Do we have an empty slide?
never.
That probably, I know I said this a while ago, but that probably
Hey, wash your
sets,
mouth out for saying them dirty
um,
words.
sets us apart because if you're looking at placing a child based on an empty bed, you're talking about housing children.
Mhm.
We are no
That's
part
what we do with
of,
prisoners.
yeah,
We
yes,
house prisoners.
right. Is there an empty
We
bed
serve
there?
children.
And we serve children and we strengthen families. So it is very sad when I have a situation that a child has needs that we cannot meet,
Mm.
Do I feel like the child could possibly benefit some from us? Yes, but I've got to look at, can we meet the needs of that child? We also have to look at, when we're talking about Davidson Farms, or you're talking about a foster family with biological children, adopted children in the home, you're looking at the family as a whole.
Mhm.
And if we can, the first thing is, can we meet that child's needs? Can we keep them safe?
Mhm.
Is everyone going to be safe in the home? Number one is safety. Once we see that those two needs are met, then how can we meet the tremendous list of needs?
Mhm.
And if it is not going to be a good fit for the family as a whole, it is not fair to all of the other girls at Davidson Farms or the biological children in the foster family's home to place a child there that's going to disrupt a family, because we are about strengthening families,
Mhm.
serving children and strengthening families. So it's very hard for me because, I've probably been accused once or twice of thinking that we can save every child.
And we've tried.
We've tried.
We've tried.
And
That's when we've learned boundaries because
that's
we've
right.
tried.
Yes, so, there may have been one or two that, my heart broke. I had hesitation on thinking, could we meet their needs? But there was no one else meeting that need, and I thought, we've got to at least try. I do not regret at all us trying, because I think we were that step to get them the services that they needed. But we really do have to be careful, and it's not about selecting good children or it is about, can we meet the child's needs, and what will it do to the family as a whole?
The other thing I think that sets us apart in how we serve, so when we talk about the girls at Davidson Farms, and, so we're talking about a home for girls, and every one of them have experienced severe trauma.
Yes.
I mean, the us figuring out how to serve our girls at Davidson Farms is really what led to us now having an entire mental wellness center,
Yeah.
because we knew they needed
Mhm.
more, and we
Mhm.
had to just keep drilling down and
Mhm.
asking the question and figuring out, how do we define more. What I love about it is, sometimes there are children that come to us that may have a chance to go to the farm, and their trauma is so great, we have to hold on adding anybody else at that
Yes.
point.
Yeah.
And so, you know, well, I think one of the most common questions I get asked, now, how many girls are at the farm?
Yes.
How many girls are at the farm? Because
Uh-huh.
we love the farm. We love our girls at the farm. But the ability for us to have flexibility
Mhm.
of knowing, okay, we're going to bring this girl in and we're going to have to hold
Mhm.
until we get her established with the trauma team,
Mhm.
get her an equine, get her, all of our services until she gets into a better spot,
Mhm.
we're going to have to hold.
Yes.
The other thing that I love is it also, because our team is just so aware and engaged, and we serve hard because we love hard and we love these kids.
Mhm.
They're our girls, they're our
Mhm.
period. So a lot of times what happens is when we have a child that comes from a hard place, one of the things we may realize is, and you have said this so many times about multiple girls at the farm, she really needs a place where she's the only child.
Yeah.
And when that happens, we realize, well, the farm may not be the
Mhm.
best thing for her.
Mhm.
So then we're able to then transition and look at our foster families and
Mhm.
think, okay.
Yeah.
And so Beverly does such a great job of trying to identify that, pinpoint that, connect that, which of our foster families is going to step up. Because to us, when we talk about serving, whether it's at Davidson Farms or whether it's through foster care, we have so many resources available that sometimes this environment might not fit,
Right.
but changing an environment, changing a foster family that might have a little bit more experience,
Mhm.
putting that child in a home that doesn't have other children
Mhm.
because of the level of trauma that they need. So I love how we're able to do that. I'm
Right.
trying to find the best word to
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
Then we just are able to do it that way.
Right, right. Well, and we're meeting them exactly where they're at.
Mhm.
We are not trying to get them to fit into our mold. We are creating the mold
Right,
that they need.
right.
And that is so rewarding as far as being on this side of it of being able to help the children. I don't get me wrong. I mean, there are more days than not that you have silent tears and that you hold
Hard
back the
days,
tears,
so many
hard
hard days.
days,
Yes.
because you cannot work with the children that we work with and hear their tears, their trauma, their abuse, and it not weigh heavy and it not be emotional. If you can hear that and it doesn't affect you, it's time to move on
Yeah.
and do something
Hey,
different.
if it does affect you, you're not gonna work for us.
Yes, exactly.
Well, and what I love, another thing, and I know I'm praising Beverly, but I just we're able to do what we do because we have such a phenomenal team. And I'd say that God has just brought so many people with gifts and skill
Mhm.
sets that has helped us create, in my opinion, the best team. Period. Um, what I love is one of the things that our team really takes on, because so many people have made promises to our kids and then they don't keep them.
Mhm.
And one of the things we say all the time,
Mhm.
listen, don't make a promise that you can't keep.
Mhm.
But if you make that promise,
You follow through.
you're going to keep it.
Yeah.
And so you just came off of a long weekend.
Yes.
So for us, balancing and meeting our kids where they are is also, I feel like one of my jobs is trying to help our team take care of themselves. So like
Yes. Yes.
I asked very early today, I'm like, "What are you doing? Take care of yourself."
Right, right.
And so one of Beverly's task of many is to take care of our house parents and our mentors at Davidson
Mhm.
Farms. And so you really saw a need that, who doesn't, what parent doesn't need a break? But then you add on all the trauma,
Yeah.
so you said, you know what? I'm going to take the girls to the lake this weekend
Mhm.
and I'm gonna give our house parents a break. And, you were so we just came out of a lunch, and you were so creative at how you motivate them to do the right thing and to behave. I mean, Listen, every parent needs to take notes on some of these things, but it was a great weekend.
Right, it was such a good weekend, and to hear the laughs, to hear like, for me, it is a success when you see a child being able to be a child.
Mm,
And you do not hear a child have to talk about adult
mhm.
conversations, adult fears, adult anxiety, adult all of the adult things. When you hear a child having conversations that is just being a kid,
Mhm.
when it is laughter and it's staying up late and it's eating hundreds of dollars worth of junk food all weekend.
So, well, I guess it was Friday. Beverly had taken the girls to the grocery and let them each kind of get their own snacks. I mean, we're it's kind of like going to grandma's, on steroids. They're going to Aunt Bev's. I mean, let's just say it that way. And so, no, this is not their life at Davidson Farms. But what I love is each girl had like, they could go get their snacks that they liked,
Yes.
and so Beverly sends this picture Friday, and she sends it on our group chat, and the girls wanted Shiloh, our house mom, to guess which stack of food was theirs. So we've got Shiloh and Jordan, our house parents. We've got Stacy, our mentor, that is just so phenomenal to work with both the girls at the main house and the cottages. And I love this because I'm getting all of this, and you hear Stacy, oh, that's this one's
Uh-huh.
because she drinks Dr. Pepper.
Uh-huh.
And I know this. Oh, well, this is this because she would love to have Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
And just it's what we do with our kids,
It
but
is.
to have the opportunity to establish that level of relationship,
Mhm.
that is connection. And I just sat there and I would just see this thread, and knowing that you were there with the girls sharing it and sharing their guesses
Yes.
and them like, oh, they got it right, or oh, they got it wrong.
Mhm.
But to make their life normal.
Yes. And that's what was so much fun. I mean, just to be able to tell them that, "Hey, I'm planning a vacation for you this weekend,
Mhm.
and we're gonna have a VRBO on the lake, and we're gonna go to the grocery store." 'Cause it was so funny when I called to FaceTime them to tell them what our plans
Mhm.
were, the one of the very first questions from one of the girls is, "Will there be food?" And I said, "Well, there's not any right now. However, whenever we get there, I'm gonna take y'all to the grocery store, and each one of you will get your own cart, and you get what you want for the weekend in the cart."
Within
And
reason.
yes, yes. And then we're gonna meet back up, and I'm gonna purchase what you have in your cart. Now, it was bizarre, some of the I mean,
Mm.
like, I'll be honest, a couple of things that was sad because, when you're told you can have anything you want to eat for the weekend and you go get a case of ramen noodles. So there were a few things that was like, "Ugh," because I'm gonna go get a filet if somebody tells me
That's
to
true,
grocery
yeah,
store and
uh-huh.
get whatever I want, for the weekend. But they had so much fun behind, and I mean, most teenagers would if you just say, "Hey, go to the grocery store and get what you want."
Right,
It was
right.
a ton of junk food. Could they be allowed to eat that way all the time?
No,
No.
it's a special
I
weekend.
mean, it was a little vacation for 'em,
Yes.
but they enjoyed that so much, and they stayed up all night the first night, and they
All
ate,
night.
and they
Yes,
laughed,
yes.
and they ate, and they laughed, and finally at 5:30, I was like 8 AM, um, I said, "Okay, ladies, we gotta go to bed,"
You
and
gotta go get a nap.
yes, yes, and they were like, "Yes, ma'am." I mean, they were exhausted,
Mhm.
but it was I mean, how many people have teenage girls that they never have a sleepover, and they don't do nails or they don't, um, eat what they want? I mean, again, it's things that can't be all the time,
Yeah.
but it's making such positive memories, and it's so sad to say, typically, the population that we serve, there are such few positive memories.
Mhm.
And to be able to be a part of creating those positive memories, so when they lay down at night, there's something positive to think about.
Right.
I mean, it's that's why I make the statement all the time. I never work. I don't work a day in my life because I have the opportunity of serving.
Mhm.
And it is, I mean, outside of being a wife and a mom, is exactly what God's called me to do. But anyone that has ever walked out the journey of what God's called you to do, there's a lot that I'm not saying to that.
Yeah.
It's
We celebrate the win,
That's exactly right. That's
and then
exactly right.
we work through the losses.
That's exactly right. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so, yeah, I just love that, and then, of course, the girls, started school,
Yes.
and, we got their first day of school pictures, and, but I love that they got a special trip before that. So, if you are a judge, an attorney, um, and you need a different a better option
Mhm.
for a
And
child.
additional resources.
And addition yes, and support
Mhm.
with resources for kids that you have on your caseload, please reach out to us, kidstolove.org, hopefortrauma.org. My email is simple, Lee, Lee, at kidstolove.org. If you go to our website, you'll find us very easy. Or if you are a family um, that is in the middle of a hard time and you need just some support and a safe place for your kids to stay. This could be experiencing homelessness,
Mhm.
and you need a chance to get back on your feet, or maybe you're dealing with addiction and you need a safe place to put your children so you can
Mhm.
go to treatment. Those are all conversations that we have. I, I don't know if we say on a regular basis, but
Mhm.
consistently to serve.
Mhm. Yes, yes.
So if you need that, like, reach out. We would love to be a support on that. Thank you for what you do. Thanks for saying yes with me.
Yes.
Um, I love it. Again, we celebrate the wins. That's what we put on social media.
That's right.
But I tell Beverly all the time, I'm like, man, if y'all have had a win, like, text me that.
Mhm.
And when she does, I'm like, it always comes on a day that
Yeah.
there's been some losses,
Yes.
and I'm like, and so I love that. I feel like we collectively as a team are all holding our arms up as
Right.
we serve our kids. So for more information on what we're doing, but also how we're doing it,
Yes.
because that is truly the difference maker, you can always log on to kidstolove.org. Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you for
my
saying
honor.
yes. And
Yes.
thank you for riding on the crazy train with me, as I like to say, affection with all the love in my heart. But
Right.
more than anything, serving these girls and being a stability in their life for the first time.
Mhm. You're welcome.
All right. That's going to do it for us this time. For more information, you can always head over to our website. Thank you so much for watching our podcast.